Good evening everybody, Stephen Howson here. I just wanted to talk to you tonight a little bit about what I think's happened with Louis Van Gaal in terms of did he quit, didn't he quit, and what that means for us going forward to the end of this season and possibly beyond. And also a little bit about the top 4, top 5 and what our chances of finishing the Champions League qualification slot are this season. So first off, Louis Van Gaal, it's my opinion and it's my belief that Louis Van Gaal did offer to quit and the board said no. And then Lou was almost forced to go out and face the press and say to them, I didn't quit. Why are you making stories up about me now? I think he had to do that because of all the speculation that come out around him. He looks weak if he's turned himself in and said, I don't think I'm up to it. I can't do this job. And the club look weak if this is what's happened and they've allowed him to carry on or they've persuaded him to carry on when he doesn't have the belief in himself. Which is nuts because one of our best performances of the season just happened against Stoke where the players looked like they had the belief. So I don't know if that result against Stoke and that performance against Stoke has come on the back of us or Louis Van Gaal almost throwing the towel in and saying, fuck it, I don't think I can manage this team anymore, so let's just release this conservative shackle that he's had over us and lads, just go and express yourself. I don't know if that's what's happened. I think there's a chance that that's probably something that's happened. I'm absolutely sure that he offered to resign. Obviously, I've got no evidence of that. There is not going to be any evidence of that. It's probably a private conversation between him and Ed Woodward, him and Ryan Giggs, the management and all that. I have zero evidence for it. It's just a feeling that I really do think that he offered to quit after the Southampton game. And we've persuaded him to stay on till the end of the season. Now, what does that mean for us going to the end of the season? If he's just saying, let's just stick around for the ride and see what happens, and we saw against Derby this little bit of excess freedom, and then we've seen it again against Stoke. If we go and beat Chelsea with the same sort of mentality and the same sort of style, that might evidence a change in dynamic in the dressing room, in the management, in the team talks, and in how he's setting these teams up. Maybe that's what it is that he's decided that he no longer cares to an extent, and because he no longer cares, he's like, do what you want, which I don't think is a good thing despite the performances and the results. If he doesn't think he's up to the job, then he should go, and I think it's mental that the club's kept him on, unless the succession plan is someone's taking over in the summer. Now, there was a lot of smoke at the weekend. A couple of journalists tweeted that they'd been told Pochettino has been lined up for the summer. I will take Pochettino right now in the summer over Ryan Giggs, which I do believe is Fergie's and possibly the club's long-term succession plan. But it worries me that it's Ryan Giggs. I think Pochettino would be a very sensible appointment at this stage. And obviously I don't think we can get him in January or February, so maybe the end of the season is the time that we actually do that. And we've said to Louis, listen, just see out the end of the season, you're not going to get sacked, and you can finish on your terms in the summer. I do not think he's seeing out 18 months of his contract. I really don't. I'm pretty sure he's going to walk away and resign at the end of the season. Now, is he going to resign on the back of a top 4 finish? Which after December would feel like an achievement, I think, for us, the way the season's gone. In other circumstances, a top 4 finish is not something to be celebrated. As we said last year, we finished top 4, we need to improve on that this year. Now, halfway through the season, we have a December like we have, and everything changes. So now we're just going to be happy, content to finish in the top 4. That's not where we want to finish all the time. You have to improve on that. But the circumstances have changed from the start of the season in October to where we find ourselves now, and a top 4 finish would be acceptable. And I think that would allow Louis Van Gaal to resign on almost decent terms. It's not the best terms, obviously. He'd rather go out winning something, which is still entirely possible. We could finish top 4, and we could also have an FA Cup win. I think if we manage that, I think people would probably say, fair play to Louis Van Gaal and wish him good luck with his retirement. I don't think there'd be any animosity to him whatsoever if that's how it went down, especially if we play the sort of football that we saw against Derby and against Stoke, which is probably going to be difficult if we're honest with ourselves. So, top 4. Can we get in the top 4? Now, I've looked at 3 different supercomputer predictions. One of them is absolutely nuts. It sees City finishing with over 80 points Arsenal come in second with about 78 points. Leicester have got like 76, 74 points. Tottenham are over 70 points as well. And then I think Manchester United are fifth on this first one with 63 points, I think, something like that. There's no way the top four are going to finish with that high amount of points. The other two supercomputer predictions that I've seen, which are taking into account a lot more of the unpredictability of the league, I think one of them sees United finishing fourth with 64 points, and one of us sees us finishing fifth. No, it's the other way around. One of them seeing us finish fourth with 65, and one seeing finish fifth with 64 points. So the mark is going to be around about the 64, 65 point mark, which is actually attainable. From here on out, I think it's 8 wins from 14 games. So that's, if the 7 would have been the 50% mark, that's achievable based on the fact that Louis Van Gaal's got around about a 50% win ratio as a Manchester United boss. So 50% win ratio would give him, let's say it is 7 wins out of this. That's going to give him 61 points, and then if he picks up a couple of draws, that might be enough to see him over the line. 8 wins, a couple of draws, and can even afford a couple of defeats. Let's say it was 3 defeats, 3 draws. You're looking at probably 67, 68 points. That should be enough on virtually all of the supercomputer ones, apart from the crazy one, which is that first one basically assumed City wasn't going to lose until the end of the season. They was going to draw a couple, and that was it, which I find hilarious. The form that they're showing at the moment, the form everybody's showing at the moment. Them and Arsenal don't look like they want to win the league at the moment. So 8 wins from 14 games. If we put Chelsea away, that's going to start to look like a realistic proposition. The next one on the horizon then is Arsenal. I think if we can take a point off Chelsea and we can get 3 points against Sunderland, and then we beat Arsenal, there's a very good chance we go above Arsenal. The ones to watch, I think, are going to be Spurs. And the other ones to watch are obviously going to be Leicester, because they're the unpredictable one in the top 4 at the moment. Well, everybody's unpredictable, but Leicester are the real unpredictable ones in the top 4 at the moment, because they just don't stop winning, do they? They've got a hell of a month ahead of them, but if they come out of this month without losing, I think even if they draw a couple of those games and can stay in the top, I think they're going to kick on, and I would love to see Leicester, out of all the teams in the top 4, win the league, which then leaves us with Tottenham, who are playing great, and a manager I've just endorsed for potentially coming and succeeding Louis Van Gaal. I need him to cock up a little bit, which, how do you feel about that? I don't know. And then you're looking at City and Arsenal to cock it up. Arsenal definitely got it in them to cock it up, I think. But to come out of the top 4, that's a big ask. City, they've got a conundrum on their hands now, because they've appointed a new manager. They know that this guy's not sticking around, and we saw in 2002 what happens when Sir Alex Ferguson announces retirement. There's no fear in the players anymore. The players get told what to do, and they'll be like, "Yeah, go fuck yourself, I'm not doing it." What are you going to do? You're not here next year. Someone else is here, and he's going to bring a whole new team with him. So you could see City fall off. You could see City kick on and go and win it for him if they like the guy. I don't know if they like the guy, but you could see City fall off. But you're asking a big ask there. This Arsenal side and this City side, both of them tipped to win the title, potentially looking at one of them to fall out of the top 4. It's an absolutely massive ask. We need someone to underperform, and we need to just slightly overperform our average over the last 18 months by like 1 or 2%, and to make sure that we get in that top 4. But it is doable. It's certainly doable if we play the fast attacking football that we've seen in the last 2 matches. But we've had false dawns in the past, haven't we? So we remain hopeful. It's possible, if a little improbable. Jesus Christ, I can't speak. So thank you for watching. That's my little chat for tonight. Stick it in the comments. What do you think? Chances of top 4, and what do you think is going to happen with Louis Van Gaal? Because I'm fairly certain he will walk on his own terms. I think the board have made it pretty clear that he's not going to be getting sacked. I just hope that there is a succession plan in place, and we're not going to get to the summer and go, right then, now what? Because that's what it feels like a little bit at the moment, that the club are just going day to day, and there isn't, a whiteboard somewhere with a list of names on it and targets and interviews lined up for different people. That would give me a warm fuzzy feeling inside if I thought that was lined up. I don't think that's lined up. So There you go. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please give me a like if you've enjoyed what you've seen. I have waffled on for 10 minutes. I didn't intend that. And drop me a subscribe as well. Thank you for watching. I'll see you soon.